Before we dive in, if you enjoy real, raw stories like this, please subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support means the world. I never thought a single text could change everything. It came at 2:17 a.m., and I wasn't asleep. Not really. Something in my gut had been off for weeks, subtle at first. Her phone tucked away, sudden silences, small excuses that didn't quite land. I thought I was imagining things. Maybe I was being paranoid, but the message made it impossible to deny. Can't stop thinking about last night. Meet me. I stared at the screen, my coffee going cold in my hands, heart hammering so loud I was sure she could hear it from the bedroom. The number was saved under her contact name, but the sender wasn't someone she ever mentioned. My chest tightened as confusion spiraled into a cold, creeping dread. I thought about confronting her immediately. I thought about walking out the door. But instead, I sat there, letting every memory replay like a film I didn't want to watch. Her laugh at the coffee shop where we first met. The small note she left me on sticky pads, calling me my love. Every "I love you" now felt like it carried a double meaning. In the following days, I tried to convince myself it was nothing. She was just stressed, overworked maybe. But the signs kept multiplying. Missed calls she didn't return, messages disappearing from her phone when I was around, that strange tension every time I asked her about her day. One Friday, I stayed late at the office. She said she was going to a friend's house to catch up. I didn't think twice, at least not then. But when I got home early, hoping to surprise her with dinner, I noticed something. Her jacket was gone, her keys missing. And on the kitchen counter, a small envelope I didn't recognize. Inside were 2 tickets to a concert, dated for the night before. I remembered asking her about plans, and she said she was staying in. My hands shook as I rifled through the rest of the mail. There it was, a credit card receipt from a nearby hotel, time-stamped 11:45 p.m. last night. I didn't know whether to scream or collapse. I sat on the couch, numb, letting my mind fill with every possibility. When she walked in an hour later, her face lit up at the sight of me, completely unaware, or maybe pretending. "Hey, you're home early. Did you miss me?" I couldn't speak. The words got stuck somewhere in my throat, lodged in a knot of betrayal. We need to talk." I finally managed, my voice cold, distant. Her smile faltered. "What's wrong?" I showed her the envelope, the receipts, everything. Her eyes widened, panic flickering, and for the first time, I saw the guilt I had suspected all along. I can explain," she stammered. It was the first time she had ever admitted it, not fully, not in detail. But she tried. She talked about loneliness, about mistakes, about someone who had been there in moments I hadn't realized I'd left gaps in our life. I listened, torn between the love that still lingered and the reality that I barely recognized the woman in front of me. I remember the way the room smelled, her perfume, faint but overpowering, mixing with the burnt toast from the untouched breakfast I had made earlier. The sound of her voice was familiar, yet every word now carried a shadow. We argued, yes, but the real pain came later in silence. Lying in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, I realized the truth. Trust isn't something you can repair overnight, not when the foundations crumble while you were asleep. I remembered all the little moments that now seemed hollow. The hand-holding on walks that weren't really hers, the late-night chats that were partly lies. The next week was unbearable. I kept thinking about what I should do. Leave her? Forgive her? My mind oscillated between anger and longing. I found myself sneaking glances at my phone, hoping for a message, a call, anything to tell me it wasn't real, but deep down I knew. Finally, I made the decision. I needed closure more than I needed her. We sat down one evening, quiet except for the faint hum of traffic outside. "I can't do this anymore," I said. She started to cry. "Please, I'm sorry. I'll do anything." "No," I cut her off gently. "Not anything. I need to find myself again. I need to remember who I am without this, without betrayal shadowing every memory. I can't live in the halfway point between love and hurt." She nodded, understanding finally dawning in her eyes, as painful as it was to witness. I packed my things and left the apartment that night, the hallway echoing with the sound of my own footsteps and the finality of a door closing behind me. It didn't feel like victory. It didn't feel like defeat. It felt like breathing again after being submerged too long. I realized the hardest part wasn't the betrayal itself. It was realizing that the person you thought you knew could hurt you so completely without warning. Now, months later, I'm learning to rebuild slowly. The pain still comes in waves, but I also notice moments of quiet strength I didn't have before. I remember the lessons she taught me, though not the way she intended. I've learned to trust myself again, to listen to the whispers in my gut, and to love without losing sight of my own worth. Betrayal leaves scars, yes, but it also leaves lessons. And maybe one day it leaves forgiveness, not for her, but for me, for allowing myself to survive it. If you've ever experienced betrayal, or if this story hits too close to home, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories, and remember, your voice matters. Thank you for listening. If you want more real, raw stories that explore the messy, human side of love and betrayal, make sure to subscribe. The journey isn't easy, but we navigate it together.